The desert wind howled like a wounded spirit as the stranger staggered through the wasteland, his boots torn, his lips cracked, and his memories scattered like dust devils spinning across the earth. He did not know how long he had walked, hours, days, maybe longer, only that the sun felt like it was carving itself into his back. He remembered a crash, the roar of engines, a flash of fire, and then nothing. His name was Luke Harrison, a wanderer without a home, a former soldier who had abandoned battlefields only to find himself fighting the unforgiving desert just when he thought the world was finally ready to take him. A shadow fell across him, tall, unmoving, silent. He blinked through the blinding heat. Standing before him was a woman wrapped in woven buckskin, her braids long and streaked with silver, her eyes dark as storm clouds, yet burning with an ancient strength. She carried a staff carved with symbols older than any map, and behind her stood 3 Apache riders, their horses snorting in the dry air. The woman knelt beside him, touching his forehead, and Luke felt an unexpected rush of calm wash over him. She spoke softly in a voice that carried authority and compassion both. "You walk between worlds, stranger, but you do not belong to the dead yet." Luke wanted to speak, but his throat only produced a broken rasp. The woman lifted a flask to his lips, water so cold he wondered if it was even real. As he drank, she studied him the way a hawk studies a wounded animal, deciding whether to save it or leave it. After a moment, she ordered her men to lift him. No one questioned her, not even with a glance, because she was Nalina, the matriarch of the Red Clay Apache, and her word was law sharper than any blade. They carried Luke to their hidden settlement nestled between red cliffs and ancient stone formations, where time seemed frozen, where the wind whispered old stories, and the fires burned with meaning. Luke drifted in and out of consciousness, hearing chants, drums, and the murmurs of healers. When he finally opened his eyes fully, he found himself inside a hut lined with herbs, feathers, and patterned blankets. Nalina sat beside him, watching him with the gaze of a leader carrying the weight of her people's survival. "You should have died in that wasteland," she said, "yet something pushed you forward." "Tell me why," Luke struggled, but eventually his voice returned enough to share pieces of his past, being raised in foster homes, joining the military, losing his squad in an ambush, wandering afterward in search of meaning he never found. Nalina listened without blinking, as though each word was another puzzle piece she had waited years to find. When he finished, she touched the earth with her fingertips, then touched his chest. "My people are dying," she admitted quietly. "Our bloodline weakens. Our sons fall before their time. Our daughters carry sorrow heavier than their dreams. But last night the spirits spoke to me. They sent me a vision of a man lying in the wasteland, a man the earth did not claim because he still had a purpose to fulfill." Luke stared at her, unsure whether this was a dream, a ritual, or a burden being placed upon him. Nalina leaned closer, her voice low but clear. "The spirits say you carry strength born of suffering, loyalty born of loss, and a heart that has not yet learned its true path. They say you were given to us." Luke tried to push himself up, confused and overwhelmed, but Nalina placed a steady hand on his shoulder. "I am the matriarch," she said. "It is my duty to protect the future of my people, and the spirits have commanded me to choose a father for a new bloodline, one who will guide our next generation, not only with strength but with honor." She paused, letting the fire crackle in the silence between them. "Luke Harrison," she declared, "I found you in the wasteland, and I offer you a place among us, not as a guest, not as a servant, but as the father of my people's new beginning." Luke's breath caught in his chest. He had expected gratitude for saving his life, maybe a goodbye once he recovered. Not this, not a responsibility so immense it made his years of battle feel small in comparison. "Why me?" he whispered. Nalina looked toward the mountains, as if her answer echoed through them. "Because you are the man the earth returned to me." Luke did not sleep the night after Nalina's declaration. Instead, he sat outside the healer's hut, staring at the stars that spread across the sky like shattered glass. wondering how a lost man like him could be chosen for something so monumental. The village was calm, filled with the soft glow of firelight and the sound of drums beating steadily like the pulse of the desert itself. Children laughed in the distance while warriors sharpened their spears and elders whispered ancient stories to the young. Luke watched all of it with a strange mix of awe and unease. He had wandered through countless towns, cities, and ruins, but none had ever felt alive the way this place did. Not alive in noise or chaos, but alive in spirit, like every stone and breath held meaning. At dawn, Nalina approached him again, this time without guards or ceremonial clothing. She sat beside him, the rising sun casting gold across her braided hair. "You fear what I asked of you," she said gently. Luke did not deny it. "I'm not a leader," he muttered. "I'm barely a man worth saving." Nalina turned her head slowly, her expression neither harsh nor soft, simply true. A man who believes he is unworthy often becomes the one who changes the world. Humility is not weakness. It is the foundation of strength. She then led him to the training grounds where young Apache warriors practiced, their movements sharp and rhythmic. Luke watched as boys no older than 12, moved with fierce determination, yet uncertain steps, as though they carried invisible weights on their backs. "These are the last of our sons," Nalina said. "Their bodies grow, strong, but their future grows fragile. Disease, war, hunger, each year we lose more than we gain. Our people need not only warriors, but hope." Luke felt something shift inside him. As the days passed, he began helping the children learn hand-to-hand techniques he had mastered in the military. Non-lethal moves, defensive strategies, ways to use an opponent's strength against them. The boys admired him instantly, not because of his scars or muscles, but because he treated them as equals, teaching with patience rather than pride. The elders watched in silent approval while Nalina observed with a gaze that held both gratitude and something deeper, recognition that the spirits had not been wrong. Luke integrated into their daily routines, gathering herbs with the women, hunting with the men, repairing tools, and sitting with the elders as they shared stories of ancestors who once ruled the plains with unbreakable unity. He learned their traditions, respected their laws, and slowly, the village began to feel like a place he belonged, not by accident, but by purpose. One night, during a gathering around the central fire, the drums stopped and the village fell silent.